This is the Andres Segovia Show.
Hey everyone, it's Andres, and I'm going to be talking to you about the Samsung Ring, my experience with it, and an overview of how it's been with Samsung Health, especially with a lot of changes that have gone on with Samsung Health. Now, I'm not going to say that this is the best product out there, because frankly, this is the first time I've ever used a health ring. And it actually, for those of you that are not aware, haven't seen my unboxing video of this from way back when, I did not get the sizing kit. So I didn't know you're not supposed to use your ring finger for the sizing. You're supposed to use your index finger for the sizing. So unfortunately, this ring does not fit on my index finger. So all the measurements, all the metrics that I've used for my testing here have been really just using it off my ring finger. So for now, it's been replacing my wedding band. Don't tell my wife. What I have enjoyed about this has been the consistent aesthetics that Samsung has had, because here are the earbuds and the case is very similar to the ring case. What I have liked about the ring is its construction. It's durable, it's lightweight. I've hit this thing against so many things and it doesn't have a scratch yet, which is awesome. That speaks to the titanium build that has been resisting the scratching. But what I don't like though is that there are some times where the sensors do feel they're getting a little warm, so I do take off the ring every now and then. While I do get long battery life out of the ring, which I enjoy, what I don't like is that the case itself, while it's awesome, you can wirelessly charge or wire it in charge, even if you just leave it sitting there, the charging case is draining the battery. So there are some times where my ring has already depleted its battery and I put it into the case, forgetting that it's been a while since I put the case itself on the charger. And then I think my ring is charged and I take it out, and next thing I know, the ring is almost dead. So I have to charge the case, especially if I have to head out the door and I'm gone for the day. I lost a day's worth of health metrics. So that's been my number one gripe about using this case. But let me do an overview of Samsung Health as it is now, and it's going off my Fold 6 here. You'll find videos that I have done on Samsung Health very early in my channel when it was still the Tech Corner before it became the Andres Segovia Show. So this has been my nutritional diary since I would say 2017 consistently. There have been some services that are no longer available, and there's other features and services that are available now that weren't back then. And while I have used wearables in the past, whether it be the Gear Fit products or the Active 2, which was my favorite, using the ring is actually one of the more convenient ways to track my sleep. But if you combine it with the usage of a watch, for example, then you can start tracking and have your phone nearby to just get an idea of the quality of sleep you're getting and the way you're breathing and things like that. Now, it's very key to understand that while this ring does have all these abilities to measure your heart rate constantly, and also measure your stress, and I'm going to be doing my measurements here using 1.5 times speed so we can get through this video faster. It's not always consistent though, because if you're using a different Samsung wearable, it might read off that. So just to compare the accuracy of the results, because it surprised me that I was saying I was stressed, I'm like, I thought I was relaxing. So I decided to measure this off my watch as well. And when I measured it, I was pleasantly surprised that the results were very similar to what I was getting off the ring. So that speaks to the level of tech that is available in the ring to be able to get a more consistent, accurate reading. Now, I don't know if the results would have been even more accurate if I had been using the ring on my index finger as instructed. Again, it doesn't fit on my index finger, so I can't confirm or deny. But I have heard feedback from Mike O'Brien. If you're not following his channel, you go check out his channel. He does a lot of great stuff there. So I have seen his testing, and for the most part, he's kind of spoken about the same thing, including with the Band 3 or the Fit 3 that came out recently. So what I have enjoyed is the consistent tracking of this ring on my vitals, particularly the stress and the heart rate. Now, if you wanted to measure your blood oxygen, that only works on the watch, not on the ring. So I'm not even going to bother comparing it for you. But now, when you're testing the heart rate, as I mentioned before, if you have a wearable, then it's going to default to the wearable instead of the ring to measure your heart rate. So as soon as I hit measure, it started immediately talking to my watch and said to measure through there. So yeah, it's actively tracking your heart rate with the ring, so it'll still give you a summary. But if you're going to actually measure it, the way I've experienced it is that it just defaults over to the watch. You can also put in your blood pressure information for those of you that do follow that. I know my father does, and they use Samsung stuff, so it's become very handy for him to keep those logs. Now, when it comes to workouts, though, First off, I don't work out with the Ring. I don't know anybody that does. But if you're going to use this as a diary, I haven't liked that a lot of the workouts were streamlined. So I do use other services for that effect. And I will be showing you here in a moment on what that experience has been like. But tracking measurements, if you carry your phone, it's probably going off your phone. Otherwise, it's definitely trying to rely on the Ring or the watch. And somehow it accumulates and consolidates to the measurements that the phone is giving you. And there are badges you can get here if you want that competition. Now, there is the Together that I wanted to show you, but I'm going to come back to that in a bit. I want to show you the changes that have happened with the fitness area, where you are able to watch videos embedded here on Samsung Health and be able to track your workouts. I think it's also important to note that it might vary depending on what device you have, because if you don't have a Samsung device, odds are you do not have this feature set with you. But this is the more robust way. You hit start, now it's playing the video automatically, it starts tracking your workouts, and it gives you the summary to automatically put into your diary. Now, another thing that you can do is an energy score. I never actually used this, but it's very interesting that you can do that, kind of having your own life battery level, like how much energy you actually have. But when you want to get more readings and measurements out of your health experience with Samsung Health, there's a Samsung Health Monitor. That was an app that was introduced because of the whole or the ECG for the cardiograms. And now there's sleep apnea. That's kind of new. I haven't seen this before because I don't really use Samsung Health Monitor all that much. So now let's talk about Together. This is where I noticed some of the changes very early on when they started making these changes. You didn't have the option before to upload your contacts. I'm sure it's a lot more convenient if you wanted to upload your contacts to get your Samsung device friends also on Together, and you can make challenges. Before, you can make a challenge to a friend without needing this. Now you have to put this up there. Otherwise, you cannot challenge your friends, which is something I don't like, because now you're kind of forced to give them the contacts. So now I want to show you why this starts becoming a concern with privacy and security about your data. These are a lot of accessories that I've owned over the years that I no longer have, and Samsung still shows that I have them, and I don't understand why. They have a customization service that's available, and that one, if you turn it on, which I always keep off, is using your data to start sending you targeted marketing, because of course it does. But here's where things really start getting separate, because with the Health Connect, that's something that wasn't there before. And I think the legal reasons they had to start putting all this, legalese on it, because it's reading all of your data and putting it on another app, and they're reporting that service to other places. And that honestly has been a concern for me. That's why I haven't really used Health Connect all that much, but there were some permissions I eventually gave it early on that I ended up limiting. Now, when it comes to apps and services, let's start with services. Before, the services section was populated with more apps. Now it's just Strava and Technogym. When you go to apps, it'll show you, in this case, I do have Samsung Health Monitor and a couple of the Map My programs there. What you don't see here is MyFitnessPal. MyFitnessPal was sold off to become its own company a few years ago, and just recently, the original co-founders of the MyFitness stuff, they have control once again of the MyFitness. Well, you could before be able to connect those services from Samsung Health. It's not there anymore. You have to go to the individual apps, in this case MyFitnessPal, and I will go there to connect Samsung Health, give it the permission so it can synchronize, put my exercise, food intake, my food information, my weight, my count, my exercise, and all that moved over to Samsung Health. I did the same thing with Map My Fitness and Map My Run, because Map My Run, I use it and connect it with my iOS products, and it all reports over to Samsung Health eventually, so I can keep everything in a diary synchronized. But that's something that was lost because it was all available through here in the first place on Samsung Health. It's no longer there, so I do miss that. But overall, while we have lost a lot of features that made this experience a lot more robust, I'm happy that what Samsung is doing to consolidate with what they have, they're just making it better, with the exception of the workout options. That's still very limited in my opinion. But the overall ecosystem of health that Samsung has been able to continue to do and just improve over the years has made this my go-to for tracking my health, and it's definitely going to come in handy for 2025 as I make more lifestyle changes in my life. But anyway, thank you so very much for watching my take on the Samsung Health Ring. I'll see you on the next one.